Welcome to Collaborate, the podcast that's reshaping real estate success. Whether you're a new agent striving for your first big win or a seasoned producer ready to break into the top 1%, Collaborate is your gateway to elite strategies, global networks, and industry-changing insights. Each episode delivers actionable advice straight from the top 1% of real estate professionals worldwide. This is where you learn the tools, tactics, and high-level techniques you need to scale your business and unlock financial freedom. Don't just survive, thrive. I'm your host, Trevor Bigg, three-time Icon Award winner with over $100 million in sales volume as a solo agent. And if you haven't been invited to the show yet, get your numbers up because this is a space reserved for the elite. Welcome back to another impactful episode of Collaborate. This is the premier podcast for ambitious agents focused on scaling their business. Today's conversation will explore Sean's insights on self-development, social media strategies, and building residual income, offering practical takeaways for listeners to apply to their own careers right now. Now, the Sean I'm referring to, he's been recognized for so much, guys, but what he's probably been most well known for is being the #1 real estate agent on social media within the Seattle area. He's one of eXp Realty's top agents and top recruiters. He scaled his sales journey from just cars to selling 8-figure luxury mansions. I mean, him and his brother have created an incredibly successful real estate team, the Bautista twins. Sean Bautista, thanks so much for joining us today, man.
Thanks, Trevor. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me.
No, I appreciate you, brother. Now, Sean, one of the reasons I find your journey so captivating is your ability to motivate people while still on your own personal growth journey towards success. Because, I mean, let's be real, this isn't the top for the Bautista twins. There's going to be a lot more success stories that we'll be hearing about in the future, I'm sure. So let's start with self-development. What role has personal growth played in shaping your journey as a top-performing real estate agent?
Man, it's been everything. It honestly changed my whole life, my whole perspective on every single thing because we didn't grow up with very much. So just a little bit of backstory about myself and my brother is that my parents worked for minimum wage. They were making $7 an hour. I don't know how the hell they were able to afford to have a house, a car, and support 3 children at the time on minimum wage. But they came from the Philippines and migrated here. And so I would consider myself, I'm first generation then. Yep. Born here, born in New Jersey, but we grew up in a little 2-bedroom small apartment with a bunch of family members living all in the same place. So we would switch places. I knew I didn't want to live this way. And it just felt like this isn't the way to me, it didn't feel like this was the way to live. But my parents, I'm really thankful that they gave us the opportunity. They brought us here and gave us the opportunity. And so I started doing a lot of studying. None of this was taught by my family. So I started doing a lot of deep diving into mindset, reading books, and just improving my mind and just the way I was thinking. And so I stumbled across, I'm sure you know who Grant Cardone is. Back in 2007, he would just talk about self-development, also blowing up online when nothing was online yet at that time. And then I started going down the rabbit hole of motivational speakers, Tony Robbins, and all of these type of people that would just, inspire me to be a better person. And so I would, instead of listening to rap songs all day long, I would listen to these guys on CDs. Back then, we had CD players in our cars. I don't know how old you are, Trevor, but dating myself here is that I would play these CDs in my car on the way to work. And at the time, I was selling cars and just wanting to be better. And in the first 3 months of selling cars and just working on self-development, practicing visualization, I became the top salesperson at that car dealership in my first 3 months. Wow. And I was 21 years old, the youngest guy at the dealership. But it all started with a belief in myself. And I started seeing the money roll in. I didn't know anything other than, damn, I'm making more than all my family put together, basically.
For sure.
Yeah. After seeing this and becoming the salesman of the year, I wanted to keep working on self-development. But there comes the crashes and all of these things that, okay, I reached top salesman, I was making so much money, and then ego got to me, bad decisions,
Yep.
with money. When you first money, like when you see that first money, you don't know how to keep it. You don't know how to
Yep.
protect it. You don't know how to grow it. So I was just spending it like an idiot.
Yep.
Hit rock bottom. Girl left me at the time. I was with her for close to 10 years. I thought I was going to marry this girl.
Yep.
I got fired from that job because they promoted me from top salesman to a finance manager. I got fired from that job, being there for 9 years as well.
Yeah.
So imagine a girl leaving you. You get fired from your job because a new GM didn't like who you were and they wanted to bring their own people in. Third, I lost my house
Wow.
at the time, and then I also got my car repossessed.
So rock
So I
bottom.
was living up above. I was like living it for a few
Yeah.
years, being cocky, arrogant, but you'll get humbled really quick when you start acting like you know it all. There's certain ways that I don't know how it works, but you will be humbled if you act really cocky, and that's what happened to me.
So how did you put it all back together?
Yeah, I started working on myself first. The first thing I had to do is start working on me mentally. I was overweight too, by the way. I wasn't what I am now. I was a lot, I was eating a lot of shit, a
Yeah.
lot of junk food. I was eating McDonald's, Burger King, all this stuff, just like junk food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So imagine how low my energy was.
Oh, for sure.
I started eating better. I started changing the way I eat, my eating habits.
Yeah.
I started changing my physical daily activities because I wasn't doing shit other than sitting at a desk, closing deals and
Yeah.
working bell to bell at a car dealership. So I started changing my habits on fitness. I started going to the gym more. I started surrounding myself with people, friends that lifted me up and just got away from all the people that I thought were friends just because I had money. But I stuck with the true friends that were always with me, no matter if I was broke or if I had money, regardless.
Yeah.
So I started surrounding myself with real people, reading more books, taking more action. And then my brother got me into the business in 2016. And I had that employee mindset,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
10, 15 plus years of working in the car business, really comfortable making over six figures after I turned things around just by getting my brother. He saw how unhappy I was.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, let's just do this together. Let's brand ourselves as the twins online.
Yep.
And let's make it happen. And so I had to figure out like, okay, how do I find business? How do I get business? And so again, it always starts with yourself. I believe that anytime you're not producing, anytime you're at a low point in your life, it's because there's three things that are out of balance. And first off, like I said earlier, is what you put into your body.
Yep.
People don't believe it or don't think about it, but food and whatever you're drinking, and all this plays a major part in everything you do.
Oh,
It
yeah.
all correlates. So eating right, having some physical activity to get me out of my comfort zone,
Yep.
which is going to the gym and being productive at the gym, not just sitting there and not doing work, but actually lifting the weights, pushing myself and getting a sweat on it. People think that working out is, oh, I'm going to put my little shoes, like I don't know what they do. They're walking shoes and just walk for like without breaking a sweat. But
Yeah.
no, push yourself a little bit. I started pushing myself.
Was there a moment when, like a turning point, let's say, in your career where you knew that self-development was going to become a priority for you?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, dude. Being 100 grand in debt.
Yeah.
And thinking negatively and only focused on what I owe and how much I had to pay and all the bills coming to me and everything going wrong. I just realized that when I worked on myself internally, then the right people, I was at the right, then it all of a sudden turned into me being at the right place at the right time with the right people to help me get to where I want to go.
It's funny how that works. People they take mindset for granted sometimes so viciously where you consistently think about negative and then you wonder why negative is the only thing happening to you. You know what I mean?
What you focus on expands is one of my favorite quotes, man. It
Absolutely.
really is.
Yeah. I love
So
that, man. I think consistency has a huge role to play too, and you've achieved incredible consistency in a highly competitive industry. What are some daily habits or routines that keep you focused and motivated?
yeah, man, I like to start things off with goal setting and
Yeah,
visualization.
yeah,
This is the things that I believe in: gratitude, something to get me into a positive mindset, because most people are negative. Most
yeah,
people think about negative things, what they don't have.
yeah,
What about focusing on the little things that you do have? Do you have heat on? Is there running water, hot running water in your
yeah,
house? Like all the little shit that you don't focus on, and you're saying, I don't have this, I don't have my Ferrari, I don't have my Lamborghini, whatever it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
then you're just always going to be in a lack mindset. So, what I like to do is I like to start off with my goals, and I write these down every day. Or not every day, I'm sorry, every 90 days. I have this
Yep.
letter that I write to myself, and I update it every 90 days because everything changes. This is how I set goals.
Yep.
So this is the first thing I do is I wake up, I have some quiet time to myself
Yep.
because I have kids. I have
What
two
time do you wake up?
daughters. I wake up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I get up at 5 a.m. and
Perfect.
that's the time I get up, and gives me time to reflect, read my letter of the things. So this letter I write down as if things are already have been completed. I've been
Okay.
doing this for the last like almost 3 years now, this practice, and it like every letter that I write, it's creepy that I go back because I keep these letters,
Yeah.
and it's like shit, all of these things came true. So
Yeah.
goal setting, clarity is number one. Two, I like to go to the gym.
Yep.
I go to the gym or I do hot yoga. So I do both.
Yeah.
And I like to push myself. I like to push myself so I could get a nice little sweat in, just get, I don't know, get my body flowing. So
For
it's
sure.
not, obviously the byproduct of that is like, yeah, you're going to look good and you're going to have a nice physique by working out consistently. But two, it gives me the mental clarity, man. That's the number one thing that I like it. And the reason why I like doing this stuff is because I feel good, dude.
Yeah.
I feel so good. Like,
Oh,
you
I agree,
feel
man.
good? Yes.
It
Yeah. Go
motivates
ahead.
me. I'm the same way. So I've got three daughters.
Nice, bro.
Seven. Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. It's busy, but it's awesome. They're 7, 11, and 13. So it's busy, but same deal. I wake up before they wake up because I'm up at 4:30. That gives me time to eat before I hit the gym. And then from 5 to 7 is like the time of day that I have to reflect on me, how I'm going to accomplish my goals. I'm in the gym, I'm working on me. That's the 2 hours of my day that it's like strictly Trevor, because then the girls wake up at 7 a.m. to get ready for the bus. And after that, the day turns into chaos, right? But I think
Yeah.
that having a consistent morning is so important, because even if the days, there's days where I wake up and I'm tired or I'm sore, you know what I mean? And the warm bed would be so much better. But the days that I sleep in, oh, I beat myself up, man. Do I ever beat myself up? Where it's like, even if I just got up and stretched and just, put myself in that environment for just like 15, 20 minutes and then started my day, it would change everything, right?
Yeah, bro. I love it, man. But yeah, it makes me feel good, dude. Like I was saying, man. It makes you feel good, and when you feel good, you do good.
Yeah,
Like that's my belief. So
100.
I like working on myself. And so if I can't be the best version of myself, how can I give it that best version to my clients? How can I give my best version to my family? Like, come on now.
Well, and it affects energy levels too. I mean, when you get up and you push yourself and you get out of your comfort zone and you break a sweat and you do those things, you're compounding energy levels, right? Where it's like now you can outwork somebody who maybe doesn't get up and put in those reps, right? I mean, the more reps that you put in, the more cumulative energy that you're building. And now by the time 4, 5, 6 o'clock rolls around, I'm still ready to go, man.
I love it, bro. I love it, man.
I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about
Yeah.
social media because you guys are
Yeah. Let's
heavy
do
into
it.
that. And I think that's a huge catalyst in the way that you've built your success. You and your brother have been recognized as the top real estate agents on social media in Seattle, which is a huge accomplishment. What was the
Thanks,
initial
bro.
strategy for building such a strong online presence?
I'll tell you, because back in the day when I got started in 2016, Instagram was just a picture photo
Yep.
platform, right? It was just photos, and believe it or not, I hated the camera. I hated taking photos. I was embarrassed, and I just didn't want to be in front of the camera. But again, that all changes when you change your mindset and you change your why of why you want to do this. So here's the thing. We paid for Zillow leads, and we were like, okay, let's see how it works. And we did it for a year. We got one deal out of it, and it broke even.
Yeah.
I was like, why not just invest in doing video? And nobody was doing video back then.
Yep.
And just showcase both of us in the Pacific Northwest wearing suits. So here's the beauty about it is here, it's funny is that we like wearing suits.
Yeah.
Nobody here in the Pacific Northwest wears suits in Washington or Seattle. Like nobody was wearing suits back then. And everybody was like either talking shit or talking shit. And, but the main thing is that I learned is that attention gets, like, if you can get people's attention, that will generate, money will flow that way.
Good attention or bad attention, it's traffic.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And so we would dress up, we'd go in front of these listings. We held open houses. First of all, we would always hold open houses every weekend. But not only do we hold open houses, we also recorded at these open houses, which were 5, 10, $15 million open houses. How did we get them? We asked the agents, and we believed that we belonged to these listings. We believe we can represent these listings and the people that showed up there. And when we did that, we would go online and I would showcase, hey, I'm here at this $10 million listing. Take a look at this basketball court or swimming pool or this and that. And nobody was doing it other than my brother and I. Nobody. I'm telling you. Nobody was doing it. And so what happened here is the people that I would meet anywhere and everywhere, I would have them add me to Facebook and Instagram.
Yep.
Didn't even tell them I was an agent. I was like, hey, you on social media? Let's connect. I connected with some high net worth individuals, and them seeing me at open houses that were 5, 10, $15 million, they all of a sudden started to associate me as $1 million agent.
For sure. Well, that's the environment you put yourself in.
It is.
Yeah, smart.
And so from there, I just started posting. We started posting and posting consistently. And then sooner or later, we start getting DMs, messages. Hey, I just saw you at this house. Oh, I also saw you say that you sold a house for $100,000 over asking. Yep. Can you come take a look at my house?
So I think that's so interesting. My next question was going to be, how did you identify your audience and tailor your content to engage them effectively? But I mean, I think that you basically answered it there. Is you put yourself in the environment of what your audience needed to see. You knew the kind of audience that you wanted to engage with. You knew that your target market was this highly successful, high luxury clientele. And so you put yourself in that space in place, and you did nothing but advertise that space in place until eventually you attracted the clients that you were looking for.
That's the beauty about social media. I attracted them. I didn't chase them. I didn't cold call them. And the beauty about social media is that when someone reaches out to you, the closing percentage on a social media lead is 50 to 70%, just like a referral.
Yeah.
Because they're asking you, they already know, like, and trust you from the content that you've posted. And so when they know and trust you and they reach out, that closing percentage is a lot higher than a cold caller that does 1 to 3%. So I have videos working for me constantly 24/7,
for sure,
knowing that I put a video up and the views are going to be there. It's more than calling someone one-to-one. I could get thousands and thousands of views rather than, okay, I'm going to make a call and this and that.
Well, time, right? I mean, time is the biggest commodity here.
Time is the...
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
What types of content, educational, entertaining, behind the scenes, what kind of content tends to resonate most with your audience?
Lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's the content that we're posting. And lifestyle content, educational as well. Yep. So it started off as lifestyle content for the lifestyle we were portraying and showing people, hey, this is what a $10 million home gets you. This is what 5, 6, whatever. And so it was lifestyle content that attracted the people to us, but now it's all about educating. Things change over time. Social media changes over time. And so now we educate. We still mix it in because it's fun. So we do a mix of both.
Yep.
Edutainment is what I like to call it.
It's perfect, man. And I find that the educational ones seem to get the most engagement as far as comments and this and that. But you're totally right. Lifestyle gets the highest amount of exposure. What were the top three? I think was pets, kids, and food. Those
Yeah.
three things get the highest amount of engagement out of anything you can post.
Do you see my feed? Yeah, like I post my girls all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Family.
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Do you see a direct connection between your social media presence and the trust you build with potential clients?
Yeah, bro. Absolutely. Like I said, the content that you post builds rapport for you.
Yep.
I don't have to do anything at all because the beauty about how I do this and the way people should create content is that to get people to know, like, and trust them. And here's the thing. This is when you know you've made your brand like a memorable brand and that it can actually converts is when someone calls you or emails you
Yep.
out of nowhere and they're like, you know what? It already feels like I know you and I've never even met you. That's when you know that you've closed the deal because your social media content has already built the rapport because you're posting the things that you love, things that make you. And that not only, like, obviously we post real estate so people understand that we're agents and that we're
Yep.
in the business, but what else makes Sean Bautista? And that's why I say that when you get that, oh, I already feels like I know you,
Yeah.
it's a done deal. That's 100% close right there.
Well, for sure, for sure. And it's because you're posting consistently and authentically. And I think that's the big miss that so many agents miss is even if they're posting consistently, it's not authentic. They're posting just sold after just sold, or they're posting new listing or coming soon. And don't get me wrong, you have to shed some light on your listings. It's important. That's also a name of the game with social media. But people want to see the authentic you. People buy into people before they buy into businesses. And there's a million other real estate agents out there. They want to find out why you are different than the next guy.
True. Very true.
Absolutely,
Very true,
man.
bro.
Well, yeah, okay. So I'll tell this story too. I landed a listing just a few days ago and have never met this guy in my entire life. And we connect, and he's basically already just like giving me the keys. Like I am the guy for the job. And I asked him, because I always like to ask, how did you hear about me and where to go? And he says, bro, I follow you on Instagram. And he says that, because I got a motivational quote that goes up every single morning, 6 a.m. And he goes, bro, he's like, I don't even know you, but I buy something off of you just based off of what you present on social media. He said, you are so inspiring. He said, it might sound creepy, but I follow your story every single day. And I've never met the guy. And I walk in and he's trying to throw his keys at me, like, please sell my house. And that's the power that we're trying to highlight here.
Yeah, bro, you never know who's watching. That's the beauty about it.
Yeah.
You never know. That's so cool, bro. Great job. And people like that's branding. And when you can inspire somebody to do something and make a move without even questioning, they don't even question price either. These are the easiest people to work with, bro, because
Well,
they're bought into you.
yeah, and you nailed it. They don't question you because you've already built the trust and rapport. They just, from what they've been able to consume, they assume that you are exactly right with what you're saying because they trust you. That you've got the rapport already built. And again, this is somebody that you've never actually met in your entire life.
Yeah, man, just drop in value. That's
Yes.
they see the
Yes.
value.
Absolutely. I want to touch on another aspect. I want to touch on residual income a little bit because I think that's another gear in the wheel that everybody wants to kind of dabble with, and everybody's a little bit nervous or maybe uneducated on how to really grow a residual income portfolio, let's say. Residual income is obviously a game changer for agents, but how did you first discover its importance and how has it impacted your career?
This guy right here, my favorite book
Yeah,
of all time. I keep it with me. I keep it right next to me. Like I said, the
nice.
Cashflow Quadrant. You got to know which quadrant you're operating in. And if you
Yep.
haven't read this book, it's the sequel to Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it dives deeper into who you have to become as a person in order to generate residual income, whether it's through properties, which I have multiple,
Yep.
or building a revenue share organization or organization through the company that we're with, EXP.
Yep.
So I once I realized that and I shifted my mindset to go over to the business side of the right side of the quadrant as far as a businessman and an investor, then I realized, okay, I played this back in like there's a game that
Yep.
he has that's free online. If nobody's playing it, then your financial IQ, if you want to get your financial IQ up there and learn how to read financial statements and get out of the rat race, play
Yeah.
that damn game because it's happening in real life. And the beauty about this is this book was written in 98 or something like that. It was
Yeah.
written in 98 and all of this shit still applies 26 years later.
Yeah. I believe it, man.
So that's how I shifted into wanting to grow residual income rather than trading time for money. Because, yeah, I could keep producing, I could do this and that, but what about my family? What about the things that I truly wanted, like the things that I truly want to do, the freedom that I want to have? I want to be able to just spend time with my girls and have that choice of, okay, I don't have to sell a house anymore in order to make a living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that's so true. I mean, there's nothing stable about real estate income, and that's scary for a lot of people, right? I mean, you go 2 or 3 months without selling a house, and all of a sudden you've got some big decisions to make.
Yeah. So I just realized shifting over to the right side of the cash flow quadrant was going to, and it took a lot of it's like spiritual development inside of me to get there. Like I was an employee. Then I thought I was a badass being a like top producer and this and that. But okay, cool. But am I going to be a top producer until I'm like 80 years old? Am I going to
Yeah.
still be holding open houses? I mean, that wasn't my vision. I respect the people that do that, but
Yep.
that's not my vision.
Was there a specific moment when you realized that you needed to start focusing on creating passive income streams?
Yeah, that was like in 20, I would say 2018, like
Okay.
2020. Like we built a pretty large team at Compass. So
Yep.
before we moved to EXP, we were with a big name, Compass. I don't know
Okay.
if you've heard of them, but
Yeah.
they're here in the US. But we were with them. We grew a team up to 20 and we're like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
But how can I give back more than just locally? How can I reach more people other than just here to help people only in Washington State? And so this vehicle, EXP,
Yep.
came along. I said no to it like 10, 100 times before we ran into the right person and the right sponsor that had the right systems and
Yep.
everything to help us grow. And so I thought it was a scam until like 2021, we joined EXP,
Yep.
October of 2021. And then we only left Compass with 8 agents. So we out of the 20, only 8 came along with
Okay.
us for the ride. Now we're approaching 400 agents now in 3 years. And we're truly grateful for how we can make an impact not only in Washington, but also worldwide. We're in Brazil, Colombia, Canada, all 50 states pretty much.
And
So
that's from leveraging the revenue share model through EXP, correct?
yeah, because it's a
That's incredible.
borderless brokerage.
Yeah.
Like, why not? And if one thing I've learned is from a lot of the books that I've read, a lot of my mentors,
Yeah.
is having a mentor, having somebody closely that you want to emulate, the people doing the things that you want to do. How can I surround myself with those type of people? It's not just me growing the downline below me, but it's also the people above me that are
Yeah.
helping, like that are at other next level and that I want to learn from.
What advice would you give to agents who are hesitant to explore models like EXP?
Man, just actually get to understand the model first
Educate
off, first
yourself.
and educate yourself first and
Yeah.
foremost. Learn about it. And if you don't know, I have some videos on YouTube about EXP
Yep.
and why it's the best. Yeah, just educate yourself first and foremost.
It's
And then
funny. You talk to any big successful agent within EXP and you ask them what their biggest regret is, and every single one of them has the exact same one, and they all tell you straight faced, joining EXP too late. They all say their biggest regret was waiting too long. That they wish they would have signed up with EXP years and years ago. And literally every single one, they all have the same answer. I should have joined earlier, should have joined earlier. And you've got to sit yourself down and think, well, why is that the theme? Maybe there's something going on here.
yeah, I mean, I wish I didn't say no, but honestly, I'm really thankful to be partnered with the best people in our group and within our group. So things do happen for a reason, but I do wish, I mean, if they were there earlier and I found out about it earlier, obviously I would jump ship right away.
Yep, yep,
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
it's been an amazing ride.
Let's talk about integrating, because now we've talked on mindset, social media, residual income. Let's kind of discuss how that all integrates together. The three pillars, mindset, social media, and residual income, have been crucial to your success. How do they intersect to create a sustainable and impactful real estate career?
You know, first and foremost, everything starts with you. Like I was saying earlier,
Well said.
everything always starts with you. So that's why I say work on mindset daily. And people don't believe, like, oh, I just want to know how. I want to know how to do things. How do I get leads? How do I do this? How do I do that? But the real question you should be asking is why?
Yeah.
Why do you want to get all these leads? Why do you want to do this and that? They don't have any foundation. They don't have a foundation. So you have to build that foundation. Think about a house. Does the windows, the countertops, the flooring matter if you don't have a foundation? None of that shit matters.
Yeah, exactly,
You gotta
man.
have a why, man. Like that's the thing is I believe that mindset is number one. Two is so like you were talking about social media.
Yep.
Anybody is like I say, anybody is just one post away from getting their next deal.
Yep.
It could be now or it could be 100 posts later. But the more you do it, the better you get and the more confidence you have getting in front of the camera. So,
That's so well said, man. Another great quote: reps remove doubt.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just do it again and again until it becomes like second nature, right? And that's what I've noticed too. I mean, before the smallest things, door knocking when I first got into it, geez, palms would get sweaty and your marbles would come out of my mouth and I'd say the dumbest crap. And now I'll walk out the door and knock on anybody's door and sell them. You know what I mean? Like
Let's go.
and it's because I've done it 1,000 times. And so it's not even like I know the script, I know exactly what I'm going to say. And so reps removes doubt.
It definitely does. The last thing, but not least, you said residual income.
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to get out of the rat race, man.
Yeah.
Like when your residual income can exceed your expenses and it passes your expenses, you're out of the rat race and play that game. And
Well, and I think it also converts to quality of how you're able to approach
quality
your
of life.
clients too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're so hyper focused on making sure that you get that next paycheck, if your whole, your personal life depends on you selling that next house, then there's a little bit of fog there. There's a gray area where you're not so focused on the client's outcome anymore. You're more focused on your outcome. If you've got this residual income cushion where at least your personal bills are taken care of, then your personal life is not interrupting the business that you've got going on. And I think that's a whole nother level of being able to serve.
Yeah, man, you hit it spot on. It just gives you that sense of, like, I could say no to a client. I could turn down clients any day. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't want somebody sucking my energy, sucking my time if they're not going to treat me right. So I have the power to say no. And when I have that power, it's because I built the residual income and I became an investor and built a business.
Yeah.
And I don't have to chase the next deal if I don't need to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. What advice would you give to agents on how to integrate these elements into their business one step at a time?
First and foremost, get around the people doing it.
Big one.
Surround yourself with the people doing it.
Yep.
Join communities. I have a free community if they want to join. Like, get around the people doing it. Find a mentor, number one.
Yep.
And also start small. That's why I have that 90-day letter. Is like, everybody wants to get the $1 million, the Lamborghini, this and that, but start small. What can you accomplish in the next 90 days? Get clear.
I think starting small is a big one. I know I read this book. Oh, I can't remember the name of it right now. Anyways, moral of the story is there's a boy and a horse. They're standing out of a forest, and the boy talks to the horse, and the boy says, I have no idea how we're going to get out of here. I cannot see the way out. And the horse goes, well, can you see your next step? And the boy goes, absolutely. He says, then just take that. And the moral of the story is you're not going to know where you're going to end up all the time. But if you can see your next step or two, then just take those and see where it leads you.
Facts. Facts, bro. Yeah, the clarity, small wins lead to momentum. And when you have momentum, you start doing a little bit more and a little bit more. And once you have that momentum, then you're like in a zone. Then you're in that zone like a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan, you know, when they're, or a Steph Curry now. Like
Yeah.
Steph Curry, when he's in a zone, he's lights out, like
Yes.
popping threes, but it's through little win momentum.
Well, and not getting bored with the basics. That was a great story that I heard from Kobe, where somebody wanted to watch him train, see how it all went down. You know what I mean? At the time, he was the greatest basketball player on earth. And so somebody wanted to watch him train. Kobe said, that's fine. I'll be at the gym at 4:30. So to show him a little bit of respect, Buddy shows up half an hour early, shows up at 4 o'clock to you know, act like he's really going for it. And when he shows up at 4 o'clock, lights are already on, ball's already dribbling. He's in there getting warmed up. He's getting there getting warmed up for his practice. And it's just him. And so then he watches him practice, and the whole time, Kobe's not doing anything fancy. You know what I mean? He's not dribbling behind the back or doing anything spectacular or groundbreaking. You know what I mean? He's doing the basics. And so he asks him after, he says, Kobe, you weren't doing anything that dramatic. He said, what's the secret here, man? He said, I don't get bored with the basics.
Man. Yeah, dude, that's so good. That's so good. Stick to the basics. It's all about the fundamentals.
Absolutely, man. If I had to wrap up today, then I'd say the key takeaways of this conversation was self-development is the foundation of resilience and consistency in a competitive industry. I'd say social media is an essential tool for building trust, engaging clients, and scaling your reach. And I'd say residual income is a strategy for long-term financial freedom and career sustainability. Sean, I appreciate all your insights today, man. Thank you for sharing your journey, your expertise. I mean, it's clear that your focus on personal growth, digital innovation, and financial stability has created basically the blueprint for success in real estate. If there was a listener who was just totally inspired by what you had to say and wanted to learn more about Sean Bautista and the Bautista Twins organization, what would be the best way for somebody to get a hold of you?
They could get a hold of me through Instagram, shoot me a DM. They could also find my YouTube channel. It's just Bautista Twins. All that content, it's pretty easy. You could just shoot me a DM or shoot me an email.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There it is, guys. Don't be afraid to reach out. Him and his brother are both absolute rock stars. Man, thanks again for joining us on another incredible, insightful conversation. Remember, guys, this is where our industry's top 1% are sharing actionable steps you can implement into your business today. Join us next time for another Value Packed show. Sean, thanks, man.
Thanks, Trevor. Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to Collaborate, where we're not just talking about success, we're building it. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe and never miss out on the insights that could take your real estate career to the next level. And remember, this is a space for the elite. If you're ready to level up and become part of a global network of top performing agents, join us at the Global Group for exclusive tools, resources, and opportunities to collaborate with the best in the business. I'm Trevor Bigg, and remember, if you haven't been invited to this show yet, you need to grind harder, hustle smarter, and get those numbers up, because this is a space reserved for the elite.